In a modest apartment on the edge of Atlanta, the Robinson family clung together through a year that seemed determined to break them. After John Robinson lost his job at a car factory, the family fell behind on rent and bills. His wife, Latasha, worked double shifts as a nursing assistant, rarely home before midnight. Their teenage kids, Marcus and Brianna, did their best to stay strong, but worry lingered in every quiet meal and sleepless night. The Robinsons used to be the heartbeat of their neighborhood, hosting backyard barbecues, helping with homework, always welcoming friends. But hardship had dimmed their world. John became withdrawn, spending hours on job sites and sending out endless applications. Latasha's hands ached from work, her eyes heavy with exhaustion. Despite everything, hope flickered at the dinner table. Brianna painted pictures of beaches and wide-open skies, whispering to her mother that things would get better. Marcus tried to keep his little sister laughing, even when his own stomach twisted with fear for the future. As Christmas approached, the Robinsons faced another blow, a notice to vacate their apartment. They packed boxes in silence, unsure where they would go next. Even the family's beloved dog, Marley, seemed to sense the sadness, curling up close to comfort each of them. One night, Latasha recorded a short video on her old phone. She spoke softly about the family's struggles, not for sympathy, but to remind herself that love was still at the center of it all. "We don't need much," she said. "Just a chance to breathe again." She posted the video to a support group online. She never expected it to reach more than a handful of strangers, maybe someone with advice or a listening ear. But the video took on a life of its own. Friends and neighbors shared it, then local community leaders. Soon thousands of people saw the Robinsons' story, a family strong in love, but battered by circumstance. It eventually made its way to Snoop Dogg's team, who often scouted for stories of resilience and hope. Snoop watched the video late. One night, headphones on, tears stinging his eyes at the sincerity and warmth in Latasha's voice. He called his manager right away. "This is the kind of love we need to lift up," he said. "Let's do something special for them. Something they'll never forget." Within days, Snoop's foundation reached out to Latasha, asking if they could visit. The Robinsons were skeptical. Nothing good had happened in so long. Still, with nowhere else to turn, they agreed to meet. The family tidied up their nearly empty apartment, nervous and unsure of what to expect. All they knew was that a famous visitor was coming, and that maybe, just maybe, their luck was about to change. The morning of the visit, Latasha could hardly sleep. She fussed over the apartment, straightening cushions and setting out the last of their dishes. John put on his cleanest shirt, trying to hide the anxiety he felt. Marcus and Brianna pressed their faces to the window, watching every car that drove by. Just after noon, a sleek van pulled up in front of the building. Neighbors gathered outside, murmuring in disbelief as Snoop Dogg himself stepped out, flanked by a small team. He wore his classic shades and an easy smile, waving to the crowd before making his way to the Robinsons' door. Snoop greeted each family member with warmth and respect, kneeling to scratch Marley behind the ears. "I saw your story, and I just wanted to meet the folks who keep love alive even when times get hard," he said. At first, the Robinsons were shy, overwhelmed by cameras, attention, and Snoop's larger-than-life presence. But Snoop's kindness quickly put them at ease. He asked about their lives, listened as John shared his search for work, and encouraged Brianna to show her artwork. Over sweet tea and laughter, Snoop shared stories of his own struggles growing up. "We all got storms, but it's the love that keeps us standing," he said. His words, and the genuine way he listened, made the family feel seen for the first time in months. Snoop asked the Robinsons to pack a few bags, telling them only, "Trust me, I got a little adventure planned." Confused but hopeful, they followed his instructions, hearts pounding with anticipation. Within hours, Snoop's team whisked the family away to a luxury resort outside the city. A place with wide lawns, a sparkling pool, and rooms full of sunlight and soft beds. Brianna squealed in delight as she saw the playground, while Marcus gaped at the endless buffet and giant TV. For the first time in ages, the Robinsons slept without worry. They woke to a hot breakfast, laughter echoing in the halls, and a view of trees instead of brick walls. Snoop joined them the next day, taking time to get to know each family member. He swam with the kids, played basketball with Marcus, and spent hours talking with John and Latasha about their dreams for the future. As the week unfolded, Snoop surprised the family with new clothes, school supplies, and a promise to cover a year's rent at a new apartment. The news brought Latasha to tears, her relief visible in the way she held her children. But the most important gift was time together. No pressure, no deadlines, just the chance to be a family again. Every meal, every sunset, every silly moment at the pool became a new memory, a balm for old wounds. Snoop told them, "I didn't come here to be a star. I came to remind you that you are, every one of you. The Robinsons would never be the same." News of Snoop's generosity spread quickly. Photos of the Robinsons laughing in the sun, Snoop playing catch with Marcus, and Brianna showing her paintings went viral. Messages of support poured in from around the country, some from people who'd struggled just like them. The story touched hearts because it wasn't about fame or money. It was about seeing people in their hardest moments and lifting them up. Local news stations came to interview the family, eager to share a story of hope in a time of struggle. Inspired by Snoop's kindness, the Robinsons' old neighbors organized a food and clothing drive for other families in need. Volunteers offered job leads for John, art lessons for Brianna, and even dog walking jobs for Marcus. Latasha, moved by the outpouring of support, began speaking at community meetings, sharing her story, and encouraging others to ask for help when they needed it. "There is no shame in struggling," she told crowds. "The shame is when we stop caring for each other." Snoop stayed involved, checking in with the family, inviting them to community events, and helping John find job training programs. His foundation continued to support families facing similar crises, turning a single act of kindness into a movement. Marcus started to do better in school, inspired by Snoop's words and the stability of a new home. Brianna's artwork was displayed at a local library, where she signed her paintings with a proud flourish. Even John, once weighed down by hopelessness, found himself smiling more, ready to believe that second chances were real. The Robinsons began to heal. Family dinners became joyful again, full of jokes, plans, and gratitude. Marley, once anxious, became the playful pup he'd always been. Their new apartment, bright and cheerful, became a hub for neighborhood kids, a place where no one was ever turned away, and everyone found a meal and a listening ear. Snoop's gesture showed that real change comes not from one person, but from the love we share and the community we build. Chapter 4. A beautiful reaction on the final day of their trip. Snoop hosted a farewell dinner for the Robinsons at the resort's garden. The table overflowed with good food, flowers, and laughter. Neighbors, new friends, and staff gathered to celebrate a family that had come through darkness into light. Snoop raised a glass, his voice steady and warm. "To the Robinsons. May your love always outshine your struggles, and may your story remind us all to lift each other up, no matter what." Tears streamed down Latasha's cheeks. She hugged Snoop, thanking him not just for the gifts, but for giving her family back their hope and dignity. "You didn't just help us, you changed us," she whispered. John, always quiet, stood to say a few words. "For a long time, I thought asking for help meant I'd failed. But you showed me that the real failure is never reaching out. Thank you for seeing us, for treating us like family." Brianna presented Snoop with a painting she'd made during the trip, a bright sun rising over a family holding hands. "Thank you for giving us our light back," she said shyly. Marcus asked if Snoop would sign his basketball, then surprised everyone by hugging him tight. "You're family now, too," he said. As the sun set, Snoop promised to stay in touch, and he meant it. In the months that followed, he visited the Robinsons often, sometimes just for a simple meal or a walk in the park. Their story continued to inspire acts of kindness all over the country. The Robinsons became advocates, using their experience to help other families in crisis. They spoke at churches, schools, and events, reminding people that even in the darkest moments hope can break through, with a little help from others. Snoop's act of kindness wasn't just a story. It was a spark that lit 1,000 candles. The Robinsons would always remember the moment their lives changed, not because of a celebrity, but because someone cared enough to give them a chance to dream again. And for everyone who heard their story, The message was clear. Sometimes the most beautiful reaction is simply the power of love, shared and multiplied until no one is left behind.